Coming to you live from Rublin Studio in Brooklyn, New York. The hot new internet talk show, Know Yourself, where we inform you, inspire you, and encourage you to know yourself. And here to help you do just that, your host, Mr. Brian McCoy.
Welcome back. Continuing with our show of health, I have with me my next guest, a recovering breast cancer patient by the name of Juliette Manning.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
I know this is kind of a sore topic and everything to talk about, but I want you to help the people out there because there are many more people out there like you who need to have the same inspiration that you have. Let's go back to that day, whether it be day or night, I'm not sure when it was, when you got the news that you had this cancer going through your body.
Oh my gosh, I'll never forget. It was in March 2008. I was living in Italy at the time, and I happened to come home to visit my family. And it was not I did not do a routine breast check. I did basically cross my arms and found there was a lump that manifested in my breast. And usually I have lumpy breast, and women who have lumpy breast, it comes every month for your cycle, but this one was more pronounced. And I remember prior to being diagnosed, I remember going to my doctor, just being so much concerned about going back to Italy, because in your wildest imagination that it could never be cancer. So I was just like, basically when I come back in May, I'll take care of all the situation. And he told me to just go ahead, take care of it, take it out. And they did a lumpectomy, and 2 weeks later, the doctor called me in the office, which I felt was strange, because why would you call me back in the office? And then he took a while, and then he said, the reason why it took so long because I wanted to double and confirm it is cancer. And honestly, when he said that it was cancer, the whole world just went blank. What do you mean? I have cancer? And it's not in your wildest dreams, especially when it does not run in your family. It's dominant. You're fairly healthy. Like, where is this left field? So that was the worst day of my life. And it's still an emotional thing for me. Psychologically, it's hard for me to deal with it.
Tell me, how did you left the doctor's office, you and your mom, how did you cope when you finally got home and sat down and it kind of hit you? How did you do it?
I kind of keep it like that, at arm's length. I do not want to be associated with it. I do not. I was never saying I have breast cancer, I didn't want to hear about breast cancer. I didn't want October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, was the worst for that year for me, because it was as if, what are you talking about? It's still a surreal experience, but leaving the doctor's office, Bobby, one of my really best friends, was the first person I called. And I told her, oh my God, it is cancer. And from that time, I don't know how I drove home. I seriously still don't know how I drove home. Tears were streaming. I mean, I cried. I bawled so much. The nurses, the doctor's assistant were handing me tissues. I don't know how to even answer that. I don't think I've coped with it.
After the surgery, when it became like real to you, this is what was running through your body, and you had to have surgery to remove it. When you woke up in that hospital bed, what was the first thing that came to you?
Oh my gosh, is all my breasts gone? I really thought the doctor removed all my breasts, because you're padded, you're really wrapped around, and you're groggy from anesthesia, and it was basically, oh my God, is my breast still there? Or because they basically tell you they don't know how much they're going to remove. They have to go in and see. So that was the first thing. And I remember my mother at my bedside saying, Juliette, I'm here. And my doctor was right there, and he was just like, you'll be okay. And I remember tears streaming from my face, not realizing, okay, he really just gave me a partial mastectomy, thinking I had no breasts. So, it's a surreal experience. It really is a surreal experience. Sometimes I really think I'm in a dream, and one day I'm just gonna wake up, and it's not so. But
listen, we'll be right back, and we're gonna talk some more with Juliette Manning about how she coped with after the surgery and still being a full woman. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We're here again with Juliette Manning, a recovering breast cancer patient. And I want to ask you something. After the surgery, you came home from the hospital. How did you deal with having this surgery and still feeling like a woman? Because most women, I've heard about, when they get, certain body parts cut off, they don't feel like a woman anymore. So how did you deal with that?
Well, my doctor, he was really great. So, I had a partial mastectomy, but what he tried to do was use some of the surrounding tissues and pad my breast. So my breast technically still looks almost the same sizes. However, naturally it's not. It took a while for me because it was like, okay, funny enough, my breasts are my best friends. Thing about which I wanted to bring up, that knowing myself, at the time, because I lived in Italy, I had no health insurance. And with me having no health insurance, I had to apply for the Medicaid. And honestly, if it was not for my parents and if it was not for them paying for some of the surgeries, I would have been really messed up because of the fact Medicaid does not cover for a lot of things. And so I was thinking of, God impressed it upon my heart, which is something I need to follow through with it, to start an organization, whether it's through the church or whether it's on my own, for women who are unable to afford medication, who are unable to go to doctors, who are unable to anything. For us to be able to, the gist is to have enough money for somebody to come to me, obviously case by case basis, and say, look, I need a doctor, I need this, I can't afford it. Then I'm able to bless them with this and say, here's the money for your medication, here's the money for you to go to the doctor. So I've been trying to I'm mulling it over my head, basically how to work it out.
Do you have an email address?
I do.
Why don't you give out publicly?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I want you to look into that camera, and I want you to give out this email address because I want all of you watching to send her suggestions, whatever you can, to help her get this business started. Because you need to do this. I believe that if God put this idea in your head, it's for you to make it come to pass. And if we can do whatever we can do to help you get it done, let's make it happen.
Yes.
Tell me your email address.
The email address is Jodica, JODICALUV @hotmail.com. That's Jodica Love, JOD as in David, ICALUV @hotmail.com.
Juliette, if you had one lasting thing to say to someone who either has gone through what you have gone through or is about to, what would you tell them?
I would say be strong. Do not let it get the best of you. Do not let it take control of you. You are every woman. I believe every word of that song. You are a superwoman. You can do anything. And if you take control, the first thing about this is educating yourself. You have to consistently educate yourself. You cannot allow doctors to just do everything. You have to ask questions, be proactive. Do not just take their words for it. Do not take it for verbatim. Yes, they know, but it's always good to get second opinions, even a third opinion, and just to make sure that everyone's I's are dotted and T's are crossed before you do anything major. And obviously, putting God first, pray about it. But you're strong. You can win. It's a battle that can be won if you get it in the nick of time, which the doctors found it in the nick of time. It can definitely, you can definitely not having to deal with breast cancer for the rest of your life.
We'll be right back. Or know yourself. Hey everybody, welcome back. I'd like to take time out to thank my two wonderful guests, Miss Jessica Baker-Gorton and Miss Juliette Manning. Truly, you can see how important it is to get your physicals. And to you women and men out there who may be dealing with cancer, listen, it's beatable. You can do it. Juliette is a living testimony. Do what you gotta do. And like she said, be strong and just, take care of what you gotta do. Handle your business. Get a support system, your family, friends, whatever you gotta do. But make sure you get your daily your checkups, however often you gotta get them. Get them done. Listen, I'm your host, Brian McCoy. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more of Know Yourself.